Hey, how are you? Welcome. This is the World Mission Update. I'm Rusty Humphreys. Just talk show, so I'm just kind of here to hang out and get free lunch. This is Greg Kelley. He's the CEO of World Mission. And the website, by the way, worldmission.cc. What is it that we're doing today?
So right here we are at a conference. It's an LCMS church, the Lutheran Church, Missouri Synod, and a phenomenal gathering every February here in Phoenix, where not just LCMS, but other denominations and church leaders come together just to grow. Leadership training, how to make your church better, how to do better evangelism, how to do better missions. Of course, that's why we're here, talking about our partnership with LCMS.
There's a lot of folks. Hold on, Hope. Let me take this and show everybody. I'll give it back. That's Greg right there.
How are you?
That's Hope. She's our camera person. Hi, what's your name, sir?
Yeah, Tony Steinbrun.
That's what is it?
Tony Steinbrun.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Great.
Where are you from?
Yeah, Florida now.
From Florida?
Yeah, just retired.
All right, it's a nice place. That's good. All right, thanks for being on the show. And then over here, there's a whole bunch of people. I mean, you can't really tell, but they're all eating it for free lunch. And by the way, it looks like a good lunch.
It is a very good lunch.
All right, so that's good. That we're missing.
Okay.
Well, anyway. All right. That's Hope again. She's the cameraman. Okay. Can you see us now okay, Hope?
I can see ya.
Okay, so one of the things that you've been doing is a lot of teaching, a lot of things with children. What is it that's on your mind today this week?
Well, I think that mobilization of leaders, that's really the key. When you put a series of leaders together in missions and you ask them what's the greatest need in the world, what do we need to do? It's not water, it's not dealing with orphans and widows, it's not even the Bible distribution specifically. All those things are important, but the number one issue is leadership training, raising up leaders who are the discipleship makers. That is everything, because the only way we finish the Great Commission is by, Jesus said, go make disciples of all nations. Well, who makes disciples? The discipleship makers. So we have to invest in that front and center, and then all these other things can happen.
Where have you been doing it most recently?
Well, we were in India not long ago and saw a beautiful example of our Shiloh Center, which is our vision for leadership training centers, which are essentially discipleship making engines. And in our Shiloh Center in Delhi, we had 10 students. And we watched these students, they're learning during the day, they're growing in the knowledge of the Lord, but then in the afternoon and evenings they do ministry. So they did things like going to basically the poorest slums you can imagine, living in the dumps, into the landfills, going and doing ministry there.
Let's stop right there, because a lot of people don't know. People actually live in landfills in India, the dumps. I mean, this is not, we hear, well, we got a really bad apartment and I'm living in a dumpy house. They wish they had a dumpy house. They haven't stayed in a dumpy house. They're living in a dump. Yeah. That's the big difference.
Yeah, in India,
we can't even imagine it.
No,
here.
exactly. They call them, there's tens of thousands of, they call them rag pickers. They're literally people who live in the slums, in the landfills. They live off of other people's trash. And most of them have never heard the gospel. And so going in there, our leaders at the Shiloh Center, they go in there, they minister to them, they love these people. These are people considered untouchable, so they're the lowest of caste. And there's no gospel. I mean, who wants to go in there, right? I mean, you have to be taking Jesus' last words pretty seriously to say, I'm going to go minister to the rag pickers, but that's what the Shiloh Center students do.
Right, and then you also were in Afghanistan not that long ago. Do you have training going on there, or are you just saying, go for it?
We do. I mean, I think Afghanistan, and we've said this many times on the World Mission Update, the key to Afghanistan is Pakistan. Because everything from a church infrastructure standpoint, like right here, we're at a beautiful facility. This facility wouldn't exist in Afghanistan, because the day after it got completed, if it even got completed, it'd probably get blown up, targeted. Anyone who was attending here would be targeted by the Taliban. And so you have to have a strategy that is kind of same culture, but in the element of safety. Right. So that's Pakistan, as crazy as that seems. So in Pakistan, we train leaders, and there's hundreds of thousands of Afghans that are living inside of Pakistan. So all of a sudden, Afghanistan becomes accessible because you're making discipleship makers inside of Pakistan, and they're launching now into Afghanistan. So we have a very intentional strategy inside of Pakistan to target Afghanistan, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, and I know there's another place that you really have a stronghold. You just got back from there, is Kenya. I was with you there last year, and we got a chance to see a lot of those leaders. How have they grown over the past year?
It's been amazing, Rusty. We met with a number of leaders throughout the trip, but I was particularly excited because in the beginning and the end, we had leaders gathered together who are working with the predominantly Muslim people groups. So think of the Borana, think of the Munya Yaya, think of the Somali. These are
what?
yeah, the Munya Yaya.
Okay. I like that group. That's a group I want to join.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's these are almost 100% Muslim people groups. And that is
The Munya Yaya?
place. The Munya Yaya
Okay.
are almost
They're Muslim
100% Muslim.
Okay.
And so these are places that are really difficult, and it takes a different strategy. I mean, you're not going to go in there and have an articulate speaker with a megaphone just preaching Jesus. So it requires friendship evangelism. It requires a lot of one-on-one. It requires understanding the Muslim culture. It requires actually something very fascinating that we've learned, and that is doing evangelism using heavily the Old Testament. Because if you go into these Muslim majority areas and just lead with the New Testament, you're not going to get very far. Because there's so many common ground that we have in Christianity and Islam, including Abraham and Isaac and Noah and a lot of the Old Testament heroes. Muslims are okay with that because they're in the Quran as well. Even Jesus, as a good man, as a healer, as someone who was a prophet, they're okay with all of that. The issue is Jesus, the Son of God. That's where the train comes off the tracks. And so if you start in just the New Testament and genealogy, Jesus, the Son of God, you're going to lose them really quick. So you do evangelism, and that's what our students are trained, using the Old Testament and then ushering in the prophetic fulfillment of prophecies that lead you to Jesus. And that's how you minister to Muslims.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hope, how's your hands? How you holding up?
All good
Are you
here.
in pain? Hold on. Let me take this just from her for a second. Tony's been listening. Tony, have we been making anything? You know what I can tell by looking at you. You know what you're doing because you're taking notes on stuff. Are we telling the truth or are we making stuff up?
This is great stuff. Yeah, we lived inside South Africa, and we too had people that lived in the dump outside Johannesburg, Soweto area, and things like that.
So you've seen it.
I've seen, probably 50 to 100 people live in the local dumps. That's common in many cultures.
Wow.
And it is hard to see that, but again, it can be a fruitful place to do ministry. So, yeah, again, what you've been saying is excellent. This has been exciting just hearing you talk. And
what's your website?
Well, I'm just...
you don't have a website?
No, I don't.
All right, I was going to give you a free plug. All right. Hey, thank you, Tony. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Right.
This is great.
All right, you about done?
Hey, yeah, sure.
Hope's arms are hurting, so I want to help out. So if someone wants to help the great work what's going on at World Mission, what should they do?
Well, they help us train leaders. Go to worldmission.cc, learn about the Shiloh centers. Because again, the key, Rusty, to reaching the ends of the earth is making discipleship makers and investing in that. And at World Mission, we believe very strongly in that. And they are same culture, by the way. So they're not people who look like Rusty and I. They're from the community. They look like them. They speak their language, and they can get into these places that you or I couldn't even imagine.
So they don't look like you and I, so they're good looking?
They're very good looking, very handsome, and they speak multiple languages. Rusty.
There's another thing I don't do.
Don't you have a couple down?
I do.
English
I
is
can
getting
taco, enchilada, Taco Bell.
Okay.
I got that down.
Well, every time I'm with you, I just want you to know your English is getting better every time I'm with you. I just want you to know that.
Worldmission.cc. And what if they want to help the folks in Pakistan?
Well, they can go to worldmission.help because our ongoing work with the Afghans, it's not coming to an end anytime soon. Christians are still being targeted and hunted. World Mission is active in trying to get them out of Afghanistan, but we're making even discipleship makers inside of Pakistan that's going to reach Afghanistan.
All right. You think that's a wrap? Did we get it?
This is great.
You're good?
You did well.
All right. We like Tony. What do you think? Are we okay?
I think we're good.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time. Make sure you go and check out worldmission.cc, and we'll see you next time. I'm Rusty Evers. That's Greg Kelley, and this is the World Mission Update.